85 million child pornography images were found to be circulating on the web last year. Studies suggest that since 2010 there's been a 6,000% increase. It's one of the reasons why in Brussels on Wednesday and Thursday, governments and civil society, as well as technology companies, met for a global summit to combat online child abuse. But whatever the crime, victims who dare to speak out say they want to be heard because the trauma is all too painful.
Like many survivors, I lived in fear and in silence for a long time. But I'm also one of the few lucky ones, because eventually I had access to resources and help and support that allowed me to be who I am today.
At 47, Daniela Liguero is no longer afraid to speak out. This former member of the Obama administration was abused from the age of 6 by a close relative. But it was just when she was a teenager that she had the courage to confide in her parents. She now calls on victims to speak out despite the scars that mark them for life.
I think there's a lot of stigma and shame still, and there's this sense that this is something that happens somewhere else, not in our families, not in our communities, and that it's small. But the reality is it's huge. We know from data that approximately 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 8 boys around the world will experience some form of sexual violence as children. And so there are many of us, but most of us are hidden.
UNICEF points out that online child abuse is a recent phenomenon, only a decade old. But the consequences are lifelong, since there's no such thing as forgetting about it on the web.
So we're talking about millions of images of children who continues to be circulated. And when these images are recirculated, that is, they're re-traumatizing the child. The child can never get rid of these images. Imagine you were abused in your childhood, and as you grow up as a person, that image is still out there circulating about you, always. It's endless. It's immortal. It never goes away.
Last month, Brussels proposed measures to push technology companies to better target these types of images and predators. But the most important thing for all abuse victims is that justice is served, no matter how long it takes. Chris with Pictures Euronews, Brussels.